Hello everyone. I'm making this video to kind of explain some stuff that I don't understand, how most of people don't understand it. How come they don't just see it? Like, are they like not well in the head or what? Now with this war there in the US against Iran, is I live here in Germany, so gasoline is going up. So have you seen the price of gasoline? The price of diesel. That's crazy. People are like kind of shocked. Yeah, it's always going up, the price of that. But yeah, we can see that the economy, like in all developed world, is going down. The price of real estate, to buy, to rent it, prices of food, of gasoline, governments, they are inventing new taxes all the time, and they are also making higher the taxes that already exist. Excuse me. So your wage is going a little bit up, but the cost of living are scaling, and there is inflation also. So in the end of the day, you are working for less. So you work the same, or you try to work more and you have less, and it's going to continue until like people revolt, people go crazy, and till then, it's happening because people in power are like it's in their interest, to go like this, because it's like, human productivity is enhanced with the technology, with the machinery, with all that stuff, with knowledge, and so it's quicker and cheaper to produce and transfer whatever, like goods, and provide services, but they are getting more expensive. So it's like, it's too much people on the planet Earth, and it's this energy is getting more expensive. Yeah, right. Like, I've heard it all before. I know, like like these fossil fuels. These fossil fuels, is being used. I don't know, 50% more or whatever. Like the number is in the increase of 30% than it was like 30 years ago. And 30 years ago, these energy sources they are scarce, limited. Like if you want to buy gasoline, diesel, all that stuff, the gas, whatever, like it's, if you have money, you can buy it. Like they're provided, so but the modern economy, like the modern economy, people don't understand that it's like, sure, it's comfortable, and you can buy stuff from all over the world and think, but you have to keep in mind that if you think about like the economy in the Stone Age, in before the money, before the governments, people living in tribes, and some people are still living like this in some remote parts of the world. So think about this. There was a guy in the tribe that is making like bows and arrows. He is so good at that he doesn't go hunting, but he's making bows and arrows, and people paying him with hunted meat or these fruits, vegetables, stuff, you know, like exchanging. So he's making bones and arrows that are quality, but they're handmade. So it's a lot of work to make a good bow and you know, like quality arrows, you know, like so he's doing it himself. Now you have to ask yourself, if this guy, if the guy who's making, he wants to make for him a dozen bows and a bunch of arrows, so he can like shoot it, practice it, just have it, you know, like he could do it, you know. He could make even better bows and arrows for himself than he is making for other people. Okay, so, and then, you know, like the guy who is a good hunter, so he's specialized in hunting, I don't know, like hunting deers. So he's good at hunting deers. And so he hunts down more deers than he and his family can eat, so he's exchanging that for other stuff that he needs. But is he so poor that he has to give all that meat so he cannot afford the deer meat? Of course not, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Okay. Or like, let's say, you know, this medicine man in the tribe that is, you know, collecting all these special herbs to make tea or whatever, like to heal people, you know, and if he's sick, his child is sick, does he have problem of collecting enough of these herbs and making this medicine to make his child better, you know, to heal them, or to treat himself or his wife or whoever, like a friend? Of course he has bunch of that, because that's what he does. Okay. And now imagine this. Today, you know, like people working in the hotel, and you know, let's say like in some hotel, like the guy is working on the reception, there's a guy working in the kitchen, there's a waiter in the hotel bar, there are ladies who are cleaning rooms and changing bed sheets, etc. And most of these people cannot afford such a hotel. So if they want to go somewhere, this, you know, class of hotel where they are working, they cannot afford it. And you think about this, they're all the time working for this hotel, and hotel what is paying them, they cannot go there and somewhere and on the same class of hotel rent a room for a few days. They cannot afford it from the pay they get from the hotel. Now, they are not going to buy the room. It's just a room. You just pay to sleep there for a few nights, and you cannot afford it. But you all the time cleaning, you know, these rooms and you know, changing bed sheets, and you know, the guy at the reception, you know, being nice with the guests and putting all in the computer and so on, you know, like so, and like the guy working on the construction, so he's working, you know, like operating this machinery, or he's building, you know, walls and stuff, you know. Most of these workers cannot buy the apartment that they are building. So yes, that's a bunch of them that are building some building, but each building is made of so many, you know, apartments, and he cannot buy one of these apartments. Even like taking a credit and paying it off, he cannot do it. The guy working in the car factory, so these cars are being produced, so it's like you don't need that many workers, it's all, you know, machinery and stuff, but he's there, you know, managing that, and he cannot buy that car, or he cannot afford it, or it's difficult for him to afford it. Like he can maybe buy the used second-hand car, the same that he's producing the factory. And if he would to buy this car, that would be expensive for him. Imagine now, like the guy who is making these bows and arrows, he just can make 2 dozens of bows and arrows, no problem. But the guy making these cars there, the car factory man, he cannot buy this car. And if he wants to buy it, he cannot just, take some savings of the money and buy it. He has to take a credit and then pay it off, So that's this modern economy. Do you understand? You work for shit. You are producing something that is, you are paying peanuts. But if you want to buy the same thing, it's very expensive. So these products are expensive, but your work is cheap. And then everything is expensive, And everything meaningful is expensive. Sure, you can go to a supermarket and buy a bunch of junk chocolates or something cheap. But buy a house, a piece of land, buy a car, buy a horse, I don't know, like food. How much you have to eat yourself without your children or whatever, like how much you work just for food, what you eat in a year. What percentage of your wage is that? But you have to go get it, like in the park a car, buy it, you have to pay for to cook it at your home or whatever, like all this expensive with that, all that expenses, understand? And when we are talking about the food, like there's some farmer, he's paid so little bit for a kilo of potatoes or like, I don't know, like a ton of wheat, and he's producing that stuff, and he's paid a little, and he has all these expenses. But the same stuff is like, when you are buying it, somewhere is like 10 times more, so, it's just before when people could comfortably, take a credit, buy apartment, or, buy a piece of land in the periphery of some city, and build a house, or buy some old house, and buy a car and have 2 or 3 children, and like live kind of comfortably, working like normal job, working some factory job or whatever, like you can forget it, like it's not, now it's even worse. But even then it's like the same system was in place, the same system is like lots of things you are producing, you are working, is like you cannot afford it yourself. It's ridiculous, like how could that be, It's like, it would be like, like you go 2000 years before and you have a guy who has some piece of land there, and he has, I don't know, goats. And can he afford to like eat the goat, goat meat, or drink goat milk? Of course, it's like normal, it's normal. Like the guy who is like raising horses, he's raising horses, like in the ancient Greece, or I don't know, like in ancient Rome, has some land there, and he's raising horses, selling horses. Can he have a horse, or he's walking, Of course he has horses, for him, for his family, etc. I mean, like that this is modern system, this modern, abundance system, and taxation of this welfare state who is looking after our welfare and stuff, But so like, I don't know, like the problem is like, even if I explain that, you don't get it. You are like not well in the head, to understand how that stuff works. Like, like the car, like a car that's like, I don't know, 30,000 euros, some normal car. Okay, so look, it's produced in millions. Why is it so expensive? You need a bunch of aluminum and plastic, and it's like ton and a half or 2 tons of this stuff, like of aluminum, metal, and plastic. Why is it so expensive? Is this technology to make it and for this machine to produce it that way? Like, yeah, listen, these people change some little bit on that car, and they make a new series, a new model, and they just keep producing it. Or like the medicine, like painkiller tablets, like they just take a bunch of opium, they buy tons of opium, and they're putting in, they have a little bit of opium in this different medicine, like for headache, for back pain, whatever, like, and so you buy this little box, and it costs, and you have this stuff inside that is like this analgesic. It's just basically opium, in very small quantities there, but they're buying this, like, I always say to the people, you see when they are talking about some production of this pharmaceutical industry, they're always like, you see these guys in the lab with the microscope looking something. They always put these guys looking like expert. They're making some super new medical products, these tablets and shit, and then they show a little bit, a few seconds of some factory with these boxes of tablets and whatever. So no, this medicine it's been for 100 years or something. Like, it's just the small changes of that. Like. That stuff is just massively produced, different names with different quantities and so on. But it's just they don't need these microscopes to look at them, special microscopes to look at these molecules of that. Like that's doesn't make sense. It is what it is. Think about how the first series of light bulbs that were produced, they're still like, I think 2 that are in the museum, and they still function, like they are produced like somewhere, I don't know, end of 19th century or something, and they're still functioning because they were made to last, and then the second series is not made like this because the factory has to produce light bulbs, and people have to, light bulb has to burn out, and you have to buy another one. And the same with the jeans, first series of jeans were like, they were making promotion, put between like two cars, the jeans, and stretch it out, and it wouldn't break, whatever, like. Tied it, and the horses would pull that, and that wouldn't break. So the farmers, bought these jeans because they were like robust clothes, like that wouldn't be destroyed in the hard work in the field or whatever. And that was the first series. Nowadays they don't make it like this. They may make it so that they wear out, so easily breakable, and so you buy a new ones. So you don't have the same jeans for like whole life. Yeah, that's it. So keep that in mind. All the stuff that these products and services are criminally high, and you are just a wage slave. They give you some peanuts, they pay you enough, to survive, and that's it. And all the stuff other that you need, you are like, you have to work and save and like for years and years to buy some stuff, but nowadays you cannot even buy some fucking apartment, you know, somewhere in the suburbs of the city, you know, in the periphery of the city, some small flat for your family, you know, like it's gone, you know. So well, that's it.